Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut!
Nothing moves the blob! Let's go, bub.
I ever tell you guys my mom actually got hit by a chair accidentally by Ric Flair?
Oh my god.
Really?
Hit by a chair?
Yeah, she was at a wrestling event, and he went a little heavy with the chair and swung too hard, and it went into the audience and clocked my mom in the face.
Oh my god.
So she's never
nice.
liked Ric Flair afterwards.
All right. Yeah, that can happen. I've almost been clocked at an indie wrestling too. Not quite like that, like actually punched.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Well, maybe you should stay out of the ring drill.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I wasn't.
Or stop hackling so much.
Well, that was my problem. Yeah, I was heckling from the front row because it was open seating, general admission, and I was a kid. I was it was before I was even 17 at that point. And the guys were doing their thing. It was I forget the name of the league, but it was some indie league that only ran up around the West Coast. And I even forget who it was specifically. I just remembered like he was getting heckled by a lot of people in the audience just because he was the heel. And he got up and got furious at one point and started coming right at me and my friend. Both we got right up and walked like 3 rows of seats, just skipped over each chair, just dot, to get away from him. And he swung like he swung at me, but it's wrestling. So, I mean, I'm sure he intended to miss, but he only missed me by like 2 or 3 inches from what I understand.
You hope. You hope
yeah.
he intended to miss.
Yeah, exactly. So we are back live now that we are talking wrestling horror stories. And who would like to give us a recap of last game's events?
I think Brittany should. She did such a good job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually.
Just to read the thing that I posted.
You've been voluntold.
Yeah. That'll work.
Okay. Where's my window? Okay, so... Oh, I didn't mean to start that way. We made it home with the others from the other dimension. It's been a little over 4 months. So first we went to Aegis to talk to Mr. Danvers about handling the refugees, and we left them with Aegis. We'll need to contact our government friends to help them get officialized. My government friends, I mean, like our contacts in the government.
Right.
While we were gone, the Shadestone building has been on lockdown. Aegis and Hoplite have been guarding it. Lightbringer's relation to Reich Shield was leaked from the Russian media to the US media. Her identity is safe. The public knows about the alien ship in orbit, i.e. aliens are real. We know it's Tavaxian, but the general people do not. They just know it's aliens. The Baltic states, including New Prussia, are heating up against Russia, who is known to have been experimenting / enslaving deviants, as well as having contact with more Tavaxians. They've also had a tech bump in the last few months. As far as U.S., the Deviant Registration Act proposal was shot down, which is good news, but means that tensions are higher. Also, Mainframe is gone. He got himself a body by combining Dr. October's robot at the Bane with Senian tech, and he went rogue to target war criminals. He thinks we've been incapable of taking care of it ourselves. So he is in the wind.
And why is he doing this?
Because he was listening to some people.
To a certain person who's going to get a new necklace if she gets a hold of him.
So, with that update then, it's been about 2 days since the last game. I will let you guys determine what you've been doing in the meantime. Presumably, Billy has needed help with something because the only place he knows right now is the inside of the vein.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean would have showed him around. She would have popped him here and
I need to
there.
tour the city. I need to know where all the good clubs are.
Oh, yeah, she would be able to tell you.
Yeah, that's
She'll introduce you to Brad.
He is the ideal person to show you that.
yeah,
Perfect.
and quickly too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, with that, to help Billy get acclimated. Oh well, first I guess I should find out within these past 2 days. Mark would have tried to find out first off because he knows that Mainframe has had access to his bank account.
Oh no.
He is gonna check that, see if he's been hung out to dry.
Oh yeah, I didn't include that the company has been in semi. I don't know what you would call that.
Right, yeah, they've just kind of been in standby, it seems,
Yeah.
and they were attacked. So we got to find out what happened there specifically.
So, so the any liquid capital that you had, i.e., cash,
Yeah.
is gone.
Okay. So then he
You're
would
not in the
clearly,
negative, but any basically petty cash and anything that would have been found in in accounts that could have easily been transferred, that's gone.
Sure. Okay. So then he had worked with his bank to like make a new account, let them know that shouldn't have happened, all that stuff, make it legitimate. And then of course he would have gone to then yeah. Okay, since he doesn't have that, he would then have gone to Quantum Unlimited to find out specifically what's been going on the past few months.
So they were when this all happened. This happened shortly after you vanished, so they've been kind of in a state of limbo for the past 4 months. So a good chunk of the workforce has been laid off right now, while they tried to figure out some sort of solvency issues. The benefit that you had, that you did find out looking through the bookkeeping and whatnot, is that McLaren Industries stepped in and provided the company with a low interest business loan, amortized to be paid back over the next 5 years, which has helped at this point keep the staff. They are much of the staff has been sent home, but this is still keeping them on the payroll. So on the off chance things can get back up and running, but it also allows the company to even though they can't do anything with the powers division because that's like all been like hollowed out, they still have the capability of working on the hard drive that you produced as well as the med scanner. So right now they've kind of retooled everything and they're only focusing on those 2 items to try and get more out to get to basically get the company solvent again and to not default on the loan.
Okay, so they're doing what was already working, mainly sounds like,
And and dealing with the kind of apocalypse that was rendered when most of the operating capital was taken.
Okay, so speaking of which, so what exactly what was the attack? Do we have any details on exactly what happened there?
There's no attack. It was they came in and just about every piece of equipment from the powers division, piece of intelligence that you created, any of the working notes, all of that just gone. It was all hollowed out.
Okay.
That wouldn't have been mainframe. He didn't need that stuff, right? Why would he take that?
Actually,
And it wouldn't have been Sagan either, because why would she need that stuff?
and so there's no knowledge as to who did it, how they did it. It just kind of vanished.
Yeah,
or-
unfortunately not. It was they are internally they're referring to it as the perfect crime in the sense that security codes were bypassed, with relative ease. There's no signs of forced entry or exit by any means. It was done. A lot of it was done during shift change, and at times when people were out of the office. So there would have been minimal eyes on the powers division within Quantum Unlimited.
Okay.
So they knew exactly when to hit and how to hit.
Yeah. Okay. Since the Aegis Foundation, they were on contract to guard and stuff. Do they have any leads as far as anything that was going on with regard to that?
They do, but again, it's minimal. Unfortunately, when it happened, they went into default defense mode and placed the entire place on lockdown.
Sure. Okay.
Because the working idea at that point was that, okay, well, they got all of this tech. What if anything else goes missing? So it was like damage minimalization as best as possible.
Got it. Okay.
What they did pick up is they picked up the decaying tachyon particles. So they're almost certain teleportation was used, which indicates that there is a high level of tech involved in the theft. They also think it's an inside job, but everybody else is checked out, including Sagan.
Okay. All right.
So the only one I could think of that would benefit from your guys' research would be Cydia.
Which would indicate Mainframe may have had something to do with that. Does that correlate with when we know Mainframe went rogue? Did the perfect crime happen after that?
It did happen after that, yeah. It fits a relative window to that, yes.
Okay. Okay, so he's culprit number 1. Awesome. Bad mechanical child. Bad mechanical child. Okay, so...
Yes, very bad mechanical child.
You better ground that computer.
Literally.
No internet for you.
Yeah. Speaking of which, so then knowing all of that, would have also looked around the vein. Did he leave any presents for us within the computer? Did he take any equipment like the Leocom satellite thing? Anything like
Nope.
that happen? Okay.
No, with the exception of his physical body, lack of a better term, that's the only thing that was taken.
Okay.
Everything else was left as you last recall it.
Got it. Okay. So with that said, then he would of course have gotten in contact with Donovan to see how he's going. I guess since he was the one who provided the business loan, just would have also made sure to touch base with him to see if there were any other plans or if anything else was going on with Quantum Unlimited.
Okay. I mean, so you give him a call. His secretary bounces it, back over to him, and he gets on the phone and he says, "Mark, you've been absent for several months. I take it your people have gotten you up to speed on what's been going on?"
Yes. I apologize for my sudden absence. There was an emergency, and my ability to communicate was, not available, unfortunately. I apologize. But yes, as you said, my people have kept me up to speed. Unfortunately, whoever did what they did with the Powers Division seemed to have also affected me financially, so I've been working with the bank to rectify that as well. But in the meantime, what's happened on your end, if anything?
Well, outside of the loan that I provided your company, the sales still look promising of the items. So I don't anticipate there being much of a shortfall for your company. I guess in the immediate future, you're just going to have to hold out as long as you can until more of those sales come back in, which I imagine it's going to be upcoming in the next quarter. So if you can give it another about 2 months or so, I think you'll start seeing some recovery.
Excellent. Do you think any type of new material we could create, new research we could come up with would enhance our profit margins? Or do you think we should simply be focusing on what we currently have with the T drive and the med scanner?
I'm open to whatever you have in mind. I got to be honest with you, though. It's probably going to have to dazzle. I know you've been out of the, you've been in the wind for the past couple of months, but you're not going to imagine the new tech that's just hit the market. It's called a smartphone.
Interesting. I have heard rumors of that. It's a small portable phone, correct? Like a small microcomputer.
It's not just it isn't just a phone. You apparently have some applications. It has the capability of going onto the internet. You can check your email from it. It's quite literally amazing. It's got a touch, a touch screen that allows you to type in messages, and they even have a version that flips out. They're calling it the Sidekick.
Interesting. Well, I think my team and I could probably come up with something if that could assist the company. I know, of course, that's what we do, but with the layoffs, trying to actually develop the technology with new funding could be an issue. But I'll see what we can do, and I'll reach back to you. Was there anything else you needed to let me know before I work on more, as I put out more fires on my end?
So is it true? Because from the news, obviously from the party and whatnot, that the angler was tied to your company. So how is this this little bit of information about Lightbringer and her grandfather? How is that affecting things?
Well, we're actually about to deal with that, to be honest with you. There's a lot of complication when it comes to those individuals. We do have people, friends, effectively, within the government. Hopefully, they'll be able to actually assist us with making sure that we're not looked upon as problematic or in league with New Prussia, like what happened beforehand.
Right.
But yes, do you happen to know anybody in particular, any professionals or experts that can help with that type of public relations fiasco?
Oh, you're looking for a PR person.
If at all possible, I might have several jobs with them, perhaps not just Quantum Unlimited, but any other project I come up with.
I could probably come up with something. I don't have a name just yet. I mean, I know there's the guy that or the whoever does the Justice Legion's PR. But I'm drawing a blank on anybody else. I could probably poke around and see if I can vet some people. Are you looking for this for the company? Then I take it.
At least for the company. I do have some other projects I'm working on the side. So if you happen to have at least one individual, if not several, I might want them to work separately. But anybody you can come up with would be appreciated.
Sure. Yeah. Let me do some digging around and I'll get back to you on that.
Excellent. Thank you, Donovan. You've been an excellent help.
Hey, of course. Blasmas Frias.
Hangs up. And Yeah. With that, let's see here. So then, who all would be at the vein at this point?
Billy and Shone. Angler, were you there?
Yes, he'd be camping out there.
Okay,
He
What time-
imagines
So
that
then the only
even-
person that's not there is Lightbringer.
So what time? What time is it?
At this point, we'll say it's probably 10 a.m.
Oh, okay. Yes, she's sleeping off a hangover.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay, so then I guess Hyperion would go look for Billy and see how he's doing since he's the new guy.
Okay. So Billy, then what is it you're doing currently in the vein, or are you camped out and asleep? And be sure to unmute yourself.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, Billy's awake. Oddly enough, Billy doesn't do the drugs part of rock and roll, so he doesn't drink, he doesn't do anything. So
So
yeah,
just sex and rock and roll.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
No, he's probably been up since like 8 o'clock, and more than likely he's goofing around with his guitar.
Okay.
You know, practicing quietly to himself as to not wake others. He probably would have scrounged for food if there is a kitchen in here, I
Oh,
assume.
there is. Yeah.
Oh, and there's
Um,
probably some really good leftovers in there.
Perfect. So he'll steal some leftovers.
Okay.
As long as they're not 4-month leftovers.
Yeah.
Ew.
So
Yes.
Shone will come out of her room looking something like the Swamp Thing and make her way directly to the coffee pot.
So Shone comes walking out, and she has unintentional 80s hair.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, it's all and like kind of cowlicked up on one side, but
Sort
not
of a
not an out.
goth flock of seagulls thing going
There
on.
you go.
Oh,
Yep.
and she's got the
Raccoon eyes,
Bigfoot,
you know.
the Bigfoot slippers too on.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. So then, as Hyperion's walking down the hall and passes Shone, he's about to say something, but then seeing her, he says, "I'll let you have your coffee first before we talk."
She says, "Smart."
There's a lot of noise in the training room, as always.
So then, Hyperion continues and probably finds Billy then like picking up food from the fridge.
Yep.
He says, "Billy, how are you this morning?"
I'm doing great. This place is actually pretty nice, comparatively.
Appreciate the compliment.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do much to actually improve or create extra living space, but there have been so many fires for us to put out effectively.
I've slept in tighter places, so it's all good.
Excellent. If my finances were better, I would try to help you find a place to live outside of the vein, but as it stands, I've found that unfortunately Mainframe took that as well.
Ooh, nasty.
Yes, fortunately I have that rectified at the moment with the bank, so further stealing should actually be thwarted, at least from Mainframe. Although his abilities with the internet are impressive.
Probably pretty epic for this time, I would imagine.
It's quite possible he may be just intuitively one of the greater hackers in the world. What he thinks happens.
We're broke.
I am currently, but Quantum Unlimited is still salvageable. We have laid off multiple individuals. However, we are still working on the production and manufacture of the T drive and of the med scanner. And Donovan McLaren has provided us with a loan. That way we can stay solvent.
So that means no allowance.
Not unless we can come up with something that's extremely impressive that we can provide to the marketplace, which I think we can. There's several things we could do, but I'd like to gather the team to see how everyone's been doing since we've gotten back.
I think I need more coffee.
Good idea. So
Yeah.
then,
All I've got is an album that we never released on my phone, and that's it. And that ain't going to cover it, I'm pretty sure.
that's right. And with your activities from your home reality, you were more of a musician in your civilian hours. Is that right?
I didn't start doing the whole hero thing until basically until the apocalypse really started happening. Like things got really cranked up.
I see.
At which time, myself and a few others that I knew that had some gifts started doing our own little underground. Uh, you know, my father wanted me to go to the military, and I went the other direction. So.
Speaking of such, Mima is not scheduled to appear anytime soon, right?
She never really schedules that. She appears when she wants to and communicates when she wants to. But
I
she
do like
is
how
on
people
our
are calling
side.
her Mima.
Just not to her face.
I'll
That
take the
woman
win when I
scares
can get
me.
it. Yeah.
Well, all right then. I'll see what I can do about gathering the rest of the team. Make sure that Freddy is all right as well. I hear him practicing in the training room. So then Hyperion goes ahead and heads to the training room, seeing how Angler's doing.
Thankfully, I don't have to work on a power stunt right now because I finished all those up.
So you open the door and it's extremely hot.
Angler,
Thankfully, not like blistering hot, but it's like it's impressive to the extent of like opening up an oven and you're just like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's noticeable. I could cook something in here.
make sure not to melt the training room, Angler.
Yeah, old Electra made sure this stuff was a little bit more durable than that. I think the sensors are recalibrating around the heat.
You're probably
'Cause there's-
correct.
But I would need to actually study that, and I don't have the energy for it.
Seems like you've been expending quite a bit of energy. Are you doing okay?
I'm alive, ain't I? We're back in our home reality as far as we can tell, and we only have half a dozen nightmares to worry about.
Yes.
But at least we don't have to register ourselves, right?
True. I do consider that a win, not just for us, but for everyone.
Agreed.
Well, let me know when you're finished training. I'm going to be contacting Lightbringer so that we can have a meeting, discuss what to do next.
I'm pretty much done now. I need to make breakfast and put some food in my stomach.
Excellent. I'm sure everyone here will be appreciative of your cooking talents. And then
I really wish I could make you something.
Oh.
But I don't think I have the engineering degree to put it all together and not have it short circuit you.
I appreciate the thought. If you can feed everyone else, that will feed me as well.
Am I still employed by Quantum Unlimited right now? Or was I one of the ones that was let go?
All of us are still employed. The vast majority of the workers who were, especially within the Powers Division, have been laid off because of the crime that happened there. Right now, the prime suspect, in my mind anyway, is Mainframe. He would have known everything that he would need to know in order to actually take advantage of it. And he
Do
had
I
this
actually
many
have to say the
content.
words?
No, you don't.
All right.
And with that, he turns around, starts walking back towards the computer bay,
Mhm.
and goes, Hyperion to Lightbringer. Do you read?
So are you using
And he'll go and
the
make
communications link?
Yeah.
Okay. So you hear an unfamiliar voice pick it up. Hello? Who is this? Is this Sledgehammer? Did
So
she give you like the internal like comm link, the superhero thing? and then you hear it covered up. And then Lightbringer, as you're finishing up, in the kitchen or whatever it is, finishing up some breakfast, she turns to you and she says, "You want to hold him, hug him, and kiss him. You think he's hunky."
You would hear the noises of like pillows being thrown as she drops the communicator. And Lightbringer comes on the line and says, hello? Hello?
Yes, Lightbringer. Or do you read?
Oh, Hyperion. Hi. Hey, what's up? Sorry about my roommate.
Yes, interesting. Well, with that, I now might as well ask, since I had just essentially spilled the beans inadvertently. Was she already aware of your
Yeah.
identity?
We talked about it the other night.
Good. That is one other thing that we'll need to discuss. Are you able to come to the vein?
Yeah. Should I fly or drive? Is it urgent?
Not exactly urgent. Take your time. We need to think this through carefully, making sure we know what to do with next steps. Try to fix any damage that's been done.
Yeah, I have some stuff to talk to you guys about too.
Excellent.
All right, I'll be there soon.
All right.
And as soon as you hang up, whap, with one of the pillows. Just you got nailed square in the face with a big ball of fluff from the pillow. She says, "That's what you're calling a Sledgehammer now? He's Hyperion? Ooh.
Hyperion is my teammate.
Sure.
Sledgehammer is Sledgehammer.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Please
just
do not answer my communicator.
I just heard it going off. Hey, I don't know anything about this.
It might be my grandpa. You want to talk to him on the phone?
Why not? He already magically appeared in the living room and scared the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, you want to do that again?
He doesn't fit, Carmen.
Okay. I gotta go to work.
Oh, is that what you're calling it? So is that
Yes,
like
it's
the
called
code?
work.
Is that the code word then? No, I'm being serious. It like, because we're probably gonna need to like communicate some of that sometimes. Like if you're gonna be out, it makes it easier. Like if that's what you're gonna say, I'm at work.
mean, I don't know what has changed from before.
Like a lot, scope wise, obviously.
Okay, well, yeah, just, I'm not going to like find anybody right now. I just need to go
No, it's
talk
cool.
to the team.
It's cool. No, I get it. Okay. So going to work. Gotcha. Are you going to be at home in time for dinner, or should I like do something different?
I have no idea.
Okay. So I'll order out, so you have the option of scoping out some leftovers if need be.
Okay,
Sound good?
sounds good.
Okay. Have fun storming the castle.
Yeah. Okay. So Carmen is going to gather her notes that she's been working on, which, by the way, should I roll for that?
For what? So
The
the
special project that she's been working
yes.
on?
Go ahead.
Okay.
And it's breakfast tacos this morning
Okay.
Nice.
because that's what I'm having for breakfast tomorrow.
Roll an 8. I rolled an 8, but it's still green.
Still green.
Wow.
That's amazing. Okay. It's still green.
Oh, Diminutive Demon is redeeming some points here to Billy. Billy, you just got a free reroll from somebody in the chat.
Sweet.
Thank
Thank you.
you again.
Okay.
So make sure to write that down in your character sheet.
Got it. I real quick. I assume that the re-rolls from the last session are wiped.
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
Oh, we keep them.
I mean, they don't
Sweet.
stack, but you stack is not the right word. Yes, they.
You get to keep them. You keep them until you use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
The key thing is I don't keep track of them for you. So don't ever look to me and say, do
Nope.
I have a reroll? Because the answer is going to be no.
Okay, so I got a green. So whatever progress I've made on that, I'll bring my notes with me.
Yeah. At this, so which one are you working on? Are you working on the one?
The one with Grandpa.
Okay. So at this point, you're solid. Everything that you could possibly come up with is in place. The plans were already pretty good. You came up with a couple ways to help speed up the construction time, and some slight variations to the construction that would allow for better defensive capabilities.
Ooh. Okay. Cool. So that would
And probably some minor things too, like junctions where more hardware and wiring could be, safely set up, and easily accessible. It's little things like that.
Okay. So she'll take her notes and head over to the vein.
Okay. And a few moments later, maybe 30 minutes at best, she's backward swimming into the vein.
That's the scene change.
Oh, yeah. But she eventually shows up. She's got like a small little folder with some paperwork in it right now.
Excellent, Lightbringer. Glad you could make it.
Hey,
Tacos in the kitchen.
Brad says hi, by the way.
Oh, Brad, huh? Oh, by the way, Jerome,
Yes.
the event that was going to be taking place, has that happened, or is that happening later today?
So which event are you referring to?
The one.
You know.
Right.
That one.
So I'll tell you what. Since you need to wink, wink, say no more to me, why don't
I guess I could just text you.
Yeah, just IM it to me and I'll let you know.
Nice.
So then Hyperion goes ahead and he stands, I guess, at the head of the conference table that we've got. Well, welcome everyone. I'm glad we're all here. It's been just a couple of days since we managed to return. It seems that everyone has fared better than worse, even though, of course, things have deteriorated in various ways in our absence. First off, we of course know that Mainframe has gone rogue for reasons we've already discussed. I'm going to be working on updating our computer system here so that it won't need an AI in the future. Perhaps avoid that problem from now on. In the meantime, as far as Quantum Unlimited is concerned, we have lost some headway. However, the backsliding was stopped by Mr. McLaren, who provided a loan so that the company can stay solvent. Everyone here still has a job, of course, but we did need to lay off many of the employees, especially from the Powers Experimental Division. A crime was committed there, using what appears to be teleportation technology to take virtually everything from that department. Which means it was likely something done by mainframe, and probably in lieu with Sanians or other nations who have that technology available to them. So, with that said, we will be able to continue as long as the company continues to create its flagship products, the T drive and the med scanner. However, after speaking to Donovan, it's apparent that if we were to provide something else, something exceptional, that could actually fix what's been damaged as far as the finances of the company are concerned.
Harry baby.
Interesting. Okay, I have an idea if no one else does.
Please.
Okay, so a little context. I had a visit from my grandfather the other day, and he has let me in on some initiatives that he's um, that they have going on. Specifically, there is a project that New Prussia would like to start, and he's asked me to help with the technology side, and also, I mean, that's what these plans are for. She pats the folder in front of her. But it's a big initiative, and he would like it to be joint with the United States. So now that I've got some blueprints, I have something that I could bring to some government representatives to pitch. And the government doesn't do its own building, so maybe we could have Quantum and or McLaren Industries be contractors on this project. And she slides the folder over to Hyperion.
He
And
opens it up and takes a look.
it is plans for a lunar base for Earth defense.
Interesting. I don't deny that that is actually an excellent idea, what with threats that are intergalactic that we are now aware of.
It's flashy. It would get a lot of publicity. It wouldn't necessarily, I mean, it's not a manufacturing type job. So, but as I said, government money is still money.
What technology has been developed thus far to make this a reality?
So she'll go ahead and just explain. I mean, he can read the plans, but basically just the construction and like how, I don't know how we would get there. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's no different than technology you'd have during that time frame. You'd have to take it up there, bit by bit by like shuttle, establish, a small space station, so that people could go back and forth and work in shifts in orbit around the moon, and then eventually start creating the base from there.
He's also Jurgen, that is, has suggested that if the United States needs some impetus to sweeten the pot, he's willing to offer or share New Prussia's anti-grav technology.
Let's see. Well, with that, and Hyperion's looking through the plans. Does the base look like it would be on the far side of the moon, or on the visible side of the moon, or like how would the base be situated on the moon?
Well, the base itself is gonna because obviously the moon rotates. Um,
What?
it's going to be It would be placed in a position to defend the Earth. So in essence, it's not really going to matter what side it's placed on. It will eventually be rotating and facing the Earth at various points during its rotation. The idea behind it is to set up some sort of an additional safety net for extraterrestrial activity.
Okay. And so then Hyperion looks to Lightbringer. Who would be operating and running this base if it's going to have weapons that could repel possible invaders?
Yeah, that's going to be part of the negotiations. I would assume that they'll have, I mean, if they're going to work with New Prussia, I would assume that that's a diplomatic question. Maybe they'll have to come to an agreement of, a joint team, just like on the ISS. There's, international teams working there.
I see. Well, I, for one, will admit it is an interesting proposal. We could work on... We could actually generate multiple technologies that could assist with this alone, let alone helping the entire world. But the cost of that, and by that I mean the lack of safety and security. If Jurgen and his forces decide to take control, even if there has been some sort of negotiation done to make sure that everyone is cooperating on the base with regard to who controls its operation, who's to say that Jurgen and his forces wouldn't then decide to take it when they deemed it necessary?
So
What are your
maybe
thoughts on that?
the answer there is to have an American SPB representing American interests on the base. Someone who could go toe to toe with whoever New Prussia sends.
Something to discuss in the negotiations then. Interesting.
Do you feel your grandfather is truly remorseful for the 40s? And he's not looking at her. He is looking at the wall opposite of her. He does not want to give her eye contact at the moment.
Well, as I understand it, Jurgen was caught up in Hitler's vision for a time, and they diverged, especially
we're dancing around the bush at the moment.
Especially as Hitler went after my grandmother, and the way that Jurgen tells it, he's actually responsible for Hitler's death.
We're aware.
In-
He mentioned that to
Does
all
he
of us.
feel? Do you think he feels remorse for what he did?
For which parts? I mean, what specifically are you referring to? What he did?
The atrocities that occurred.
I think he has. I think he's come to.
Then it's a simple yes or no. Tell your grandfather he should offer to front the majority of the bill and call it reparations. Say he feels sorry. Publicly state he feels sorry about it. And that might help his public image as well as ours. If he truly feels remorseful for what he has done, then this could be a simple thing. Even if no one believes it, if he says, I will front the bill for this, I will leave people other than my soldiers in control and only leave a small detachment up there, and you can leave the majority of your detachments up there. This would provide him with a path towards redemption. I don't believe him, but I don't want to take my words and have them speak for everybody. So, if he feels remorseful, that is a way for him to acknowledge what he has done in the past and push forward into the modern age. I've said my piece.
I see what you're saying, and I think that's not a terrible idea. But wouldn't the reparations go towards Germany?
Defending humanity as a whole, not just superpowered beings, not just people without super abilities. Everyone, the planet. It is one thing to say, I'm going to throw a bunch of money at you. It is another thing to build a space station on the moon in order to protect that world.
And maybe instead of having an SPB on staff, maybe they should send a human scientist.
Correct.
Do we really think that he would agree to those terms? And does he truly need to with the position that he's in?
And
I don't know.
He holds all the cards. He could do this on his own, I imagine.
It is
But if
meant
he's
to be an olive branch towards public relations with the rest of the world by involving the United States.
At the same time, with the new interstellar threat that's presented itself, would be necessary. We needed to join forces with him in Argentina. Granted, that was forced upon us. But this has been forced upon us by an interstellar actor. We do need defense, whether it's in orbit, on the moon, both, something else entirely. And we knew it sooner rather than later. There are individuals in outer space and amongst whatever intergalactic civilization that exists, where at least one individual and their minions managed to wipe out our brother's race and world. Perhaps that could happen here. We need to defend ourselves. And this seems to be the most direct route to it at the moment. Therefore, it seems as though he would be in a position of power and desperation. He knows he needs assistance to create this space as rapidly as possible. So it's not just for the world, for himself and for New Prussia, but this might be as good as it gets for the moment.
Especially seeing as Russia is in a point of strength at this point.
They seem to be gathering more and more to vaccine technology and becoming a greater thorn in New Prussia's side. If the vaccines keep providing said assistance, that could be a terrible, terrible outcome. All right. So, we've heard from Angler. Shone, your thoughts on the matter?
Oh yeah, he's still facing away from everybody.
And Cinia still seems to be a common denominator of our problems. And before we took off, we were going to try and investigate them more. And I think that's something that should stay on the table.
Absolutely. As far as we know,
Especially if they're working with mainframe now. So is mainframe like considered public enemy number one with us now?
we unfortunately have to consider him an enemy. He would have contacted us or left us some sort of clue were he with us. And it was likely him or a similar actor related to him, which took the information and material from Quantum Unlimited. Clearly, he is not with us.
Did we change the
Apologize.
frequency of our communicators?
I can accomplish that if I can get the communicator from each of you, and which reminds me, I need to create one for Billy as well.
You might want to change whatever science-y computer stuff you do as well, and change it where it's, I don't know if unhackable is a thing. That's a word, right?
Effectively.
And make sure mainframe can't get back in until authorized, like the original intent behind the DNA scan into the thing.
Once this meeting here is over, my first priority is to modify the computer systems to ensure that, as well as ensure we maintain some sort of communication with each other. And of course, I will update everyone's comm links and create one for Mosh Pit.
He'll toss it over.
Yeah, Carmen will also take hers out.
Okay.
Put it on the table.
Ditto.
I'm not going to make you roll for it. It's just a matter of you just need to spend some time to get it adjusted. It's not like you're recreating the wheel.
Right.
Justin knows how to phrase that properly. Angler does not.
Yeah. So, with that, I do agree that the Senia issue is a high priority as well. Especially since we now know that Dr. Alice Rostenkowski may still actually be there, either of her own accord or held against her will to assist them with their technology, which we know is not helpful for the world. We still have people that we promised individuals that we'd save. We haven't done that yet, and likely they are in Senia.
Has anybody reached out to Wombat to let her know we're still alive?
Oh, I haven't. But I stopped by the Quickie Mart outside of Fairview and
Fair
heard
side.
that she's
Fair side, yeah.
put a sticky note on my wall or something. And I hear that she's still working there, so that's all.
Excellent. She hasn't gone far. She'll be able to be contacted. Well, all right. With that, also, Billy,
Yes.
with regard to your integration into our society, as you've probably seen so far, your attachments, implants,
Yeah.
they are quite different from the typical technology that exists now. It could be pulled off as a superhero that you are technological, but as a civilian, that would take some explaining, especially the arm and the mohawk.
I can wear a coat and a glove over the arm. But I don't know what to do about this.
5-gallon hat.
I think some of the girls were kind of digging it.
I think the point is that glow in the dark cybernetic mohawks are not a thing here.
You
Well,
may be the
they
only
work in the
one
club.
on Earth.
Yeah, I'm open to suggestions, but I have no clue, man.
How about
Like I
a
said,
wig?
that's a really, we're talking like, the pompadour type greaser look now. I'm going to the 50s. Uh,
It is making a resurgence. There's a lot
yeah,
of
right.
diners that are doing exactly that.
The 70s fro.
The 70s fro. There you go. Although I don't think my skin tone can pull that off.
Well,
Um,
maybe you're just trying to start a new trend.
Or you're Jewish.
what?
Yeah, they have very
Uh,
curly hair as well, which froze out it.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm on the same page now.
Wait, what did you think I meant?
I didn't know, dude. You threw out
In
Jewish, and I'm like, what? The
that
hell does that have to do with
a little
my
hat
mohawk?
going to cover over the mohawk.
Got it. Yeah, I'm on the same page now. Um,
there could be a solution that would be tied with a similar situation we're all a part of. That being our anonymity and our separation of identities. Already, one of us has had his identity revealed, Angler, and we're almost at that point with Lightbringer. So I wonder, how much longer will we be able to keep up that disguise? Will it be necessary that we do that? Or will it ultimately be detrimental if we continue to do so?
I think it might be detrimental or whatever it is you just called it. If we
Perfect.
were the ones to tell, I mean, do we kind of have an idea of how everyone's reacting to Lightbringer's revelation?
well, they don't know her real name.
No, but they know that she's the granddaughter of, uh, you know,
They know that she's the granddaughter. Well, then they probably do know her name.
They know that. I mean,
From
my mother changed her name when she came to the U.S., so I don't have the same last name that he does.
It seems that everyone is aware that Lightbringer is associated as the granddaughter of Reichshield, aka Jurgen Albrecht, but they do not know that Lightbringer is Carmen Cook.
Right.
but what do we do when they find out that she's Carmen Cook?
And that's why I bring that up.
Well,
Yeah.
I asked Jurgen what he thought about that too, and he thought that we should keep it anonymous. But I suggested maybe we reveal that the legacy are children of Electrum, but not who we actually are. I mean, I don't even know what Electrum's actual real name was. And to that, he suggested that we talk to Meredith. She has more of a experience with this, and also some stakes in that game. So
Yeah, you might not want to be here when she shows up, Angler.
because
She blames you for what happened with Mainframe, and the blood is still in the water.
if she wishes to have a conversation with me, I'll have the conversation with her.
Backtracking.
While
a little-
I'm quite sure Meredith could probably toss me around for a little while, I do not think she has the strength of physical body to do it for very long.
No, she'll just shoot you.
I've never been shot before.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's always the first time. And I'm sure she would love to be the first.
Hopefully we can
That's
avoid
sarcasm, and specifically, I have been shot before. I've been shot by a cannon before, remember? Directly to the chest
Yeah,
in
but
Argentina.
this is the scariest woman I have ever come in contact with.
Why
That's
does
not
she
me, Ma.
frighten you? You are a demigod.
She. It's that look.
Big sharp pointy teeth.
To be specific, more than likely, me and her have always been able to be civil. I do not believe that her immediate action will be to shoot me. She will probably want to give me a long lecture because I would find that significantly worse.
I think she wanted to shoot all of us when she got here at first.
She also wanted to shoot us, 6 months ago when we accidentally locked her out of the vein?
Also
One of
true.
these days, I think she's actually going to do it.
If she does, I'll try to make sure that's at me. Will do the least damage. Be that as it may, as far as our identities are concerned, then, Lightbringer, to clarify, what reasoning did Jurgen give for saying that we should maintain anonymity?
A lot of it was over liability for certain things, just plausible deniability, legal protections, that sort of thing.
I have a question. How common are those of us with abilities here in this universe?
They are significant. It's extremely well known. And in fact, the Aegis Foundation, where we just were, they literally employ superpowered beings to act as heroes for hire.
Yeah, I mean, I
About,
get sort of a generic thing, but yeah, but how
I
many?
think
What
1
are
to
we talking?
5% of the population may be superpowered individuals. No census data has been taken because not a lot of people want to admit to it.
That's fair.
So if you want to
actually, that's a
highball
good
it, I would
point.
say 20%. But if you go with a lot of standard anomalies in the human genome, you're looking technically less than 1%. But 1% to 5% would be my best guess.
Yeah, I hadn't even considered the fact that there probably are a lot of people that are just keeping it completely hidden and don't use their abilities at all.
Precisely.
Yeah.
There are, in fact, many who have imperfect expressions of their powers, where the power they have isn't necessarily functional, yet it is beyond typical human capability. There may be a significant number of them, but with their powers being non functional, why would they reveal what they can do?
Right. Okay.
I would be interested in finding out what reasoning was given for the Registration Act being shot down.
I'm willing to
What?
bet the senator's daughter has developed abilities after Argentina.
Yeah, that would be my guess too.
Jerome, like, just looking at the TV the past 2 days we've been here, has any of that information been made known on like news networks or
No.
anything? As far as no, okay.
No.
How like
The running line that the media has been going with has just been constitutionally. That so they're just
Like
like
Okay.
they're like they're saying somewhere along the lines that it violates individuals' constitutional rights here in the United States. So they're not. It doesn't really delve deeper than that.
Okay.
so? What ability do the lawmakers and powers that be? What ability do they have to enforce any kind of registration? Like, if I'm walking down the street and I'm just don't give a rip and I'm showing off my mohawk and I'm showing off my arm and I'm using my powers, what's the consequence around here?
As long as you perform no crimes, technically there should be none. However, there is prejudice against what they typically call deviants, but what we're trying to call empowered. Primarily
Okay.
those with that mutation that give them powers.
Well, what are we talking here? Harsh words? What,
Jim
like,
Crow is what you're looking at.
how are they going to stop me? That's my question.
Stopping you,
Who?
possibly.
Performing a street stop is different than them actually taking you in. I understand what you are saying.
Right.
However, the same level of harassment would occur that was happening during previous decades with less lightened individuals. They will harass you until you give them a reason to arrest you. When you fail to comply, they'll arrest you for resisting arrest on top of that, and then they'll just go down the whole list of things that they had to do. Oh my, did you accidentally touch one of them? Now you've committed assault.
That is under the assumption that they can actually arrest me, but I get your point.
Hoplite is a government agency of super police.
Okay, that's what I was. That's
They have
okay.
inhibitor technology that's from Senya.
That's what I was looking for. Okay, all right,
The
that's fair.
the Aegis Foundation has similar technology as well, and they do various work. They
They're
have been
contractors.
correct.
And they do have technologic shutdowns as well.
Okay, so given that information, I will want to. I'm circling back a little here, but I'm going to want to do something about this. I know we were talking about upgrading the arm and doing things with that, but maybe we need to look at this first. And I'm wondering, this is just a light show. It plays along with the music, it's programmable and that kind of nonsense. But um, couldn't we make it removable? Just leave the connector shell and remove the big tall part.
We could definitely take a look into that. Make it so that you can attach it when need be and detach it when need be as well.
I mean, it's really just style. I don't really ever need it, but I can certainly, if I can remove it, I can wear a hat.
Maybe we can rig additional components to mimic a hair mohawk at will.
That would be cool, if possible. But yeah, either one works for me.
And you could switch between them with a button or something.
Your magical talents, they wouldn't happen to provide you with some ability to mask that, would they?
No, I can transform into various elements, sound being one of them, but I cannot. Yeah, I don't have any illusionary invisibility, anything like that.
Understood. Then it seems like the simplest solution would be best, working on making it detachable and reattachable. That way you
Yeah,
can then either wear a wig, a hat, whatever you choose for your
right.
aesthetics. Excellent.
Cool.
During this going on, he will actually get up and walk over to the computer and starts researching EMPs on the computer.
Okay.
Okay.
Specifically, whether or not plasma can induce a EMP wave.
Okay.
I know Google will tell me the answer, and I did search, and it is possible. Due to a mixture of light and plasma can generate an EMP. So, he is researching in the 1994's method,
Mm-hmm.
which is essentially the oversized Encyclopedia Britannica that we have in front of us.
Yeah.
I might have a new stunt.
All right. So far, then.
Go ahead and continue. I'll be right back.
So far on the table. Yes.
Wait a minute. Go ahead. Sorry.
So far on the table, then, with issues that have not been resolved. Of course, there is Mainframe, who is being tracked so far by Ms. McCall's agents or any contacts that she has. She is working on that. We have yet to receive word from her. Beyond that, the lunar base, with conjunction of the United States and New Prussia, and perhaps assisting, and Quantum Unlimited, as well as Senia. Anything else anyone wants to bring to the table? Any other issues we need to rectify?
There is one other thing. I had a kind of a premonition the other day, and this is not a thing that I thought I could do, but I don't know what else to call it. Essentially, it was a vision of an attack on New York City. There was fire and lasers and screaming, and at the center of it all was a man with like a stone kind of a skin, and he was very large and wore a black and red uniform. I've been sort of asking around, describing the individual, and it sounds like it might have been someone that Electrum tussled with back in like the 60s, but I don't know what happened to him after that encounter or what his name is. I haven't had a chance to look it up. I was hoping, I mean, that would be something that Mainframe would be able to tell us, but maybe the computer has some kind of a database with him in it.
I really miss Mainframe.
He does make certain things more manual.
Yes, did. Angler, since you're at the computer, can you find anything with regard to Electrum's enemies in the 1960s? Is there anything in the database?
Where would I start searching for that at?
And then
Prime
Hyperion
files
goes ahead
in
and
the computer.
yeah. So Hyperion goes ahead and walks over and like he'll go ahead and do that and try to do it so that if Angler needs to do it in the future, he'll see exactly what he's doing, and he's going to check in the database to see did Electrum put down anything in the 1960s about dudes he fought.
He sure did. He's got which is established back in season 1 actually. He's got a pretty extensive database of individuals he's clashed with.
Would I be able to look through it and see if any of them match this description? Stone skin, black and red uniform, 1960s.
Give me a reason check.
Quick question for Jerome. Alteration appearance. That's just my meat parts.
Yeah,
correct?
I got your message. I actually posted that in the Facebook chat.
Oh, missed it.
Yep,
Sorry.
I just clipped it for you.
Okay.
Green feet.
Green feet. It took you a little bit because you're not going off of a name. Obviously, you're having to scan for comments in regards to like description. But you do find somebody who fits that description.
Who is it?
His name is Tyrax the Tyrant. And Lightbringer, do you want to forward that picture to the Facebook chat? Did you already describe what he looked like?
I did.
Okay.
I did describe it.
Cool.
I didn't send a picture, but I did just search my notes because I thought that name sounded familiar.
So then Hyperion sees that and he goes, Tyrex the Tyrant. This was the individual responsible for destroying Ixion's world and species.
That is not great.
So he is real. Could you tell, Lightbringer, at all how soon that premonition felt like it would occur from now?
I couldn't tell other than it seemed like present time or thereabouts. So not sometime in the far future.
I am reminded of something that was said when we were in the quantum reality entity, when we first arrived, and Black Mass explained that phenomena, an individual that was working with them, predicted our arrival. When we described who we were, he said we were on the right path. I think events have aligned themselves such that we are still on that right path. It would seem that then the lunar base is necessary. We need to make sure that that occurs as soon as possible. If we knew when that attack would happen, or if it actually will, from Tyrex, then we would at least have a timetable and be able to appropriately prioritize. But given the severity of the situation, that needs to be priority number one.
Agreed.
I don't
I'm
really
glad I
know
gave my
how.
advice before we got to this part of the conversation. And I maintain it. If your grandfather wants to, and he'll actually turn around and face everybody at this point, if your grandfather wants to even fake appearing like he cares about everyone else, that would be a good first step to take. I'm sorry.
The reparations thing.
Yes, I can't change the way I feel about him. I can't change the way I look at him and all I see is a racist. But what I can do is, if he's genuine, at least provide some advice I would give to a complete stranger.
I do have a question for you then, Angler, and in a way you have already answered it, but in a more broad view, what would it truly take for Jurgen Albrecht to be right in your eyes? Could he do anything to actually rectify the bad that he's done in the past?
Short of standing trial and taking his sentence? No, I doubt there is. But I don't want to step on Carmen's feelings about this, and I know how she feels, at least to some degree. If she feels that he is sincere in his change, then I will at least help out where I can. This is not for him, it is for her. And he'll look for you. I will put my feelings to the side and leave them there. If you feel that he is fully reformed, that is what I will say. And I will try to keep my lips sealed any other time. Just give me a bag of chips and tell me to be quiet.
Regardless if he is or isn't, or he does or doesn't, this is still needs to be a priority.
It does.
And if he puts forth the idea that, yes, I'm doing this for the betterment of all mankind, it will come off more genuine if he wants to foot the bill more and leave less staff behind.
We are doing this for the good of mankind.
We are.
Which means we are going to have to work with him whether you like it or not.
It's not me you have to deal with. There are millions of people who see him as nothing more than a war criminal who needs to stand trial. And the only reason that he hasn't is because he's too powerful for anyone to bring him in.
Boy, you mortals, you guys hold grudges.
Short lives. And when someone lives a 2, 3 decades longer, centuries longer, and they have no consequences for their actions, yes, people will hold a grudge. Most people will see him as nothing more than a tyrant. So I say this, that way he has a chance to show people that, yes, I am not just some tyrant in a far-off nation with a different set of racist beliefs, but I care about the planet in general.
He has committed crimes. He has murdered civilians recently, even in this country. He steals from countries when he believes he can get away with it and needs the materials or wants the materials. But it does seem like he's done all of these things as part of a master plan. And a lot of that plan may have to do with simply defending the Earth from this threat. It seems that New Prussia did know about the orbiting Tavaxian vessel for some time. I do understand what you're saying, Angler, and I do agree with most of your sentiments that it would be better for all if he were to actually admit that what he did was wrong and was willing to pay for his crimes. But I wonder if assisting in defending against an individual like Tyrix the Tyrant, even once, would be enough to repay his debt.
For me, no.
And I would think that there are many who think like you do. But hopefully, minds can change, at least for the short term. We will need to go through with the lunar base plan. Perhaps Quantum Unlimited can be looped in. We will then need to communicate with Ambassador Nolan of Argentina. He was our main contact, and he did say that he owed us a favor from what we did for him in Argentina.
It's why I said I'm going to keep my mouth shut about it in the future.
I'll try not to aggravate that goodwill.
I will just keep my mouth shut and I'll be done with it. If I am in his presence, I will do as much as I can not to aggravate the situation. I will play nice and I will eat the food. I will drink the wine and I will not make snarky comments about how the wine is probably French, the food is probably Italian, and so forth and so on. And yes, that is a specific reference for anyone who got it.
Right, yeah.
Oh, and the chocolate with bliss.
What does that have to do with anything?
World War II
It's a movie.
references.
He looks at her and says, "It's a movie."
Is that about
I'm still lost.
In the movie,
other cultures?
in the movie, the characters, the main character's
What
mother
movie?
is being courted, we'll say, by someone of the German variety who spoke about German purity. And then for a nice dinner, drinks French wine, eats Swiss chocolates, and eats Italian food.
I see.
All things that are not German.
So a form of racism.
Hypocrisy is what it is.
Oh, okay.
I do not hide the fact that I will probably never like Jurgen, that I will never agree with him, and that I will ever think that he has changed. I don't pretend that I'm better for it either. Because that's the same type of belief that he would have against people he would disagree with.
Well, people do find and try to obtain redemption.
And now we have a way to put up, as we say, or shut up.
We do.
He can front the bill. He can leave the least amount of troops up there and allow other nations to have a larger host of soldiers.
Do you think that he will go for that, Carmen?
I think he might if I tell him I think it's necessary.
You could at least tell him that it will expedite things, seeing as how time is clearly of the essence. And I'm sure he's aware of that as well, given the issues he and his entire country now have with Russia.
I don't know how premonitions work, but maybe if I try and focus, maybe I can squeeze more out of it or something.
If you're able to glean any more details, especially at time, that would be ideal.
Okay, why don't you see if we can get a meeting with the ambassador or the senator, and I'll go work on this for a little bit.
Excellent. For now then, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody. I'll be upgrading the comm links, the system, and reaching out to Ambassador Nolan. If you need me, of course, I'll be here in the vein.
Out of character, do we have 100 karma for a possible power stunt?
Right now, we have... Oh, yeah, that reminds me. We need to put Mike in the rotation for the improvement cycle.
Oh, and I need to roll a die.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
I'm gonna
Birthday
try my
karma.
power stunt too. Oh yeah.
I am now the wonderful age of 41.
Happy birthday!
And a 9 on that dice.
Ooh,
Okay, so let's see. So we've got...
good job.
And that's multiplied by... Let's see, now that he's part of our group, now that's times 6 times 50, so that's technically times 300. So that's 2,700. Okay. All right, so then from the 2,700, so then from that we can take 130 and bump our available karma back up to the 300 that it would normally be at. 2,700 minus 130. And then we add that to the 4,160 that we had.
Who's next in rotation?
So it is technically Hyperion. Oh, that's right. He's got to do that too. So then that's a thing to discuss also out of character. So now that we have 6,730 karma, Hyperion could do one of two things. He could upgrade one of his powers to good level, and that would only take 1,000. Or his resources is currently at RM 30. So spending 4,000 of the karma would, or wait, is that right?
I'm down for increased resources.
Because that's right, we could get that to incredible.
If you ask Shown, she would say resources. Yes.
I mean, narratively, is this the time to bump that?
If we actually provide the stuff and like get the lunar base contract, yeah, like perhaps, especially with the several pieces of technology we're going to have to come up with that to expedite that. So it sounds like we're kind of in agreement that resources would be better.
That sounds fine. I mean,
It's fine with me.
Okay.
I don't have any problem with that.
Right. So then, can I do that, Jerome? Can I increase the resources to Incredible 40 from Remarkable 30.
Good question. Given given where we're at right now in the story, no,
No.
because you haven't actually accomplished what you need to accomplish in character wise to get that going.
Okay. All right. Probably should ask that first. All right. Well, then in that case, I'll deal with that. So then, Hyperion is going to be doing different things. I guess he'll be working on upgrading himself right after he has the conversation with Ambassador Nolan. Then
Okay.
so that'll be the first thing he does. He goes
and
ahead.
don't forget you need to make your tools as well.
Right. Yeah. So he'll probably be doing that like at night when everyone else is sleeping,
Sure.
because he can just stay awake.
Yep.
So yeah, he'll go ahead and place a call to Ambassador Tom Nolan.
Okay. So
Carmen's gonna go find a closet somewhere to focus on.
Sean's actually
Yeah,
going to she wants to check out Billy's arm a
okay.
little bit more. Well, because she's got weapon engineering. She just kind of wants to see. She wants to see what all his arm does. So maybe she'll take him into the training room and introduce him to the training room.
He can pretty much tell you that the arm doesn't really do a whole lot of, like, there's nothing really super powered about the arm other than the material it's made of, which is highly durable. He explains that, like where I came from, my universe, there was a whole lot of style over substance. And I'm a performer. And so, I was. And so, I mean, it just kind of comes with the territory. It was actually an elective surgery. So I had my arm removed in favor of the high chrome prosthetic you see I have now. I don't have extra strength from it. I can't lift more. I can't punch harder. It did one thing for me, and it allows me to play my guitar at blistering speeds, and my arm never fatigues. So, there's that.
So, are you wanting to increase the usage?
I'm open to all of that. Yes, I will not turn down extra gripping power or punching power, any of that, because right now I don't. Well, all of my punching comes from my abilities.
I kind of have a thing for weapons and coming up with weapon. So if I could examine your arm a little bit closer, I could maybe figure out where and how to do this.
I'll tell you the same thing I told Hyperion. I'm totally down.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's what she's going to be doing. She's just going to be kind of observing his arm and taking notes.
Okay. So we'll get to you in a second then. Hyperion, so you place your call.
Yeah.
And who do you say is calling?
Let's see. Well, since he knows us only as our superhero selves, I'm gonna say it's Hyperion calling.
Okay. So the secretary places you on hold. Yes, even the government sector uses Kenny G.
Yep.
Ouch.
They all source it from the same place.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the call is patched through. Hyperion, hello. I hadn't expected to speak to you anytime soon. How can I help?
Yes, good to hear you, Ambassador Nolan. Well, we have been gone for the past few months due to an emergency that pulled us away.
I saw that in the news.
Yes, exactly. Fortunately, we managed to return with other friends who are now being rehomed and acclimated to our society, but be that as it may, I understand things have happened in the world that, well, we as the legacy need to get ahead of, not only for ourselves, but for our country and for the world abroad. I was hoping for at least some of your assistance.
Assistance, how so?
Well, first off, I'm sure you, like many, have heard of Lightbringer's association with President Albrecht of New Russia.
I did, yes.
So that is one element we're needing assistance with regard to making sure that the United States government isn't going to, for whatever reason, come after the legacy as if we are in league with a foreign enemy nation or what
I
have you.
see. Okay.
Secondly, I have been made aware of a possible project that it seems that New Prussia may want to actually engage in with cooperation with the United States government. The project being the creation of a defensive lunar base that could perhaps protect the Earth from incursions, such as from the Tavaxian vessel that's in orbit.
So let me see if I can get that clarified again. So you're not working for New Prussia, or at least that's the what your initial part of the call was.
Correct.
But now you're saying you kind of are?
Admittedly, this is a difficult scenario. Effectively, in the beginning, when we were there in Argentina, we had arrived there before they had. We were actually on a mission to try to discover who was abducting superpowered beings. But apparently, Jurgen Albrecht and his forces found out what was happening and interrupted our activities. We were then forced to side with him temporarily so that we could at least stop Reichshield from continuing his efforts in Argentina. And you, of course, saw the brunt of that. But now, given what's happening with the world, the only individuals who are technologically capable of doing something to this degree to defend the Earth from literal extraterrestrials would be something extensive, such as a lunar base that would have weaponry that could be controlled jointly to defend the Earth. So it's one of these the enemy of my enemy is my friend situations.
Interesting. For security reasons, I think we should probably nip the rest of this call in the bud and let me clear my schedule. And perhaps I could see you at some point later today, maybe in about the next 4 hours.
Excellent. Where would you like to meet?
Why don't you come to my office? I'm actually stateside given the current tenuous situation still within Argentina.
I see. If I can get your address, we'll be there 4 hours hence.
Okay. Yeah, he gives you his address. Of course, it's in Washington, D.C.
Got it. Okay. Excellent.
Go air shown.
Yeah. Thank you, Ambassador. Appreciate this. We will meet you in 4 hours.
I look forward to it.
All right. He hangs up. And then through the Vanes PA system, because I'm assuming that people have kind of scattered at this point throughout, he says, "Attention, everyone. Be ready to transport to Washington, D.C. 4 hours hence for a meeting with Ambassador Tom Nolan to discuss things such as the lunar base. Again, 4 hours." And then he goes ahead and he'll work on readjusting the comm links and making a new one for Billy.
Okay. So, Sean, why don't you go ahead and give me a reason check as you are examining Billy in all high def.
Okay. I pulled a Brittany and forgot to bring up my character sheet.
I have
And we all
money
know
today.
I'm just doing a power stunt.
I need to start making relenting a thing, like from LARP. So if you don't have your character sheet, oh, I guess you relent.
Oh no.
No.
Now this one is this is the one that has exclamation point roll.
Yeah.
Then whatever it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, I'm getting there. So
And the pinned
amazing.
comments show the rank codes.
Yeah.
If you need that.
Amazing is AM.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Uh-oh.
White feet.
I'm I'm going to use a reroll.
Wow.
I-
Okay.
I've
Billy
got-
pulls
I've
his
got-
arm away.
I got some to spare.
Okay.
Be nice. No!
Even worse. Oh no.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Mark off that reroll then.
Yep.
Lightbringer.
Hold on.
Oh, good grief. So, Shelly, although we moved on, you've got a reroll from Brittany.
Thank you, honey. I love you. Can't believe
So,
that.
Lightbringer, are you going to do your power stunt?
Yeah, I got a 3. So
You got a 3. Okay, so
Jerome, wait, I'm sorry, Brittany. I actually rolled a 1 on that last one.
okay,
It's
Does
white
that-
result.
it's just a white
it's
result.
just- oh, okay. Oh, wait, that's Cyberpunk. Okay, never mind. Okay, Billy, your arm doesn't explode.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, and then Angler, actually, you cannot use this as a power stunt. You need to actually develop a new power of electricity in order to do that.
Oh, okay. I figured he was just going to manipulate the size and density of the plasma until he can get it to essentially generate new waves of
Yeah. No,
magnetic energy.
you would actually need an external source of electricity to do that, which is why it's probably better that you, if possible, develop electricity instead of
All
plasma.
right.
Because plasma is more passive in that sense. I just looked it up. It's because of the iron that's inside it that helps make it magnetized. So if you introduce electricity at that point, that's what amplifies it up to the point which you're referring to.
And this is something I can learn because I am Electrum's son.
That is correct. Yes.
And your sister
And yeah,
does
and
it.
the other two twins, I think, have it too. Yes.
That's right.
Ooh. What skill would I roll for this?
To develop a new power,
Yeah.
nothing. You got to spend the karma.
Okay.
Sorry, Brittany, I didn't mean to hijack you.
Which that means you're going to have to spend 200 for Feeble 2.
Is everybody okay with that?
That's cool. We can do that.
Yeah.
200.
Just
And
make
do
sure.
I still have to go through the power stunt process?
Nope. Because you're
Because it's a
developing.
power, not a stunt.
That is correct. The trade-off here is that you have to have the karma in order to bump it up. So at this point, you're trying to focus really hard. You're like, I can't make an EMP. You snap your fingers at the last second because you're really irritated and
Yeah, the whole thing goes down.
no, it just
And it would be lightning generation feeble 2, right?
No,
Just
it's
gets like
electricity generation.
Oh, electricity.
Yes,
Yeah. So he can make small static shocks right now.
he can make superhero static shock. Woo woo.
Oh no.
Oh come on, that cartoon was amazing.
And I'll send you an updated character sheet at the end of the game.
Okay, doke. So, with that being
Ooh.
said, then are we fast forwarding to you guys traveling? And how are you
No,
planning
you
on
were
getting
you
there?
were dealing with Brittany.
Brittany
yeah,
got a Brittany
I
got a
got
3.
a white. I got a white.
Oh.
So Brittany has an intimate, lonely, staring contest with a closet.
Probably keep getting distracted.
With everything going on, sure, that makes sense.
And if
Um,
you're in the training room, he's fully geared up and he's messing around with different sizes of plasma in his hands, trying to smash them together.
No, Lightbringer's probably dealing with blushes at this point.
So then, was I able to make that extra comlink for Billy?
Give me a
Perfect.
reason check.
Okay. Would mechanical engineering bump that up by a column shift for making things?
Is that what?
Would the mechanical engineering talent
Yes.
bump that up by a column? Nice.
Yes, it would.
Okay.
I'll be right back in just a moment.
Okie doke.
Couple of feet.
Okay. So yes, you are able to create a new device for Billy. And in fact, you're able to, even though it's more primitive than his arm, you're able to integrate it into his arm. So he doesn't have to carry it separately.
Sweet.
Okay. And I take it I was able to, you were saying before, I didn't have to roll to make sure all the frequencies are changed to something different. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So then, yeah, once I get that done, I start passing those around, and I go to Billy last, and I go up to him, I kind of hold his arm, bring it up, and I go ahead and attach the thing and, like, clamp it on to him. And then say, and then I put my comlink, I show it to him, I put it in my ear, and I say, Hyperion to Billy, can you hear me?
Do I hear him?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
In stereo, because he's right in front of you, too.
Right. Yeah, I got you. Micro delay, but yes, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Hey, Hyperion. Maybe when we get back and we have some time, could you assist me in analyzing his arm? It seems like I'm having difficulties. I'm not. I don't know much about this material.
It's powered by some form of electricity.
Wow.
I understood that reference. So he says, that is understandable. The last time I looked at his implant, it seems to be made primarily out of Drixium. That is a difficult metal to actually manipulate and mold. Yes, we have the time. I actually did promise Billy that I would assist him to see if any upgrades can be made. Oh, which also reminds me, now that you have the comlink, Billy, it serves a secondary function. Instead of having to say something out loud, you can sub-vocalize without having to enunciate what you say. That
Sweet.
way, for stealthy operations, you can still communicate.
I'm familiar with the tech.
Excellent.
So, am I? Are we flying air shown today?
Do you think you'll be able to get us all the way to Washington, D.C. without problems?
Well, if I can put us on the moon without problems, I think I can handle DC.
Can you put us on the moon without problems?
Well, you guys would have a problem. I don't think I'd have a problem.
We can either teleport if you believe you're able, or we could take Ixion's ship and fly.
Yeah, I can get us there. I mean, I did it before. If you remember, we went to the library there.
Just making sure. It's been some time. I know that your long-distance jumps don't happen that often, so I'm not sure how advanced your ability is when it comes to that. We have had some instances where if you are not seeing the location you're teleporting to,
You'll pat him on the back. Her long distance jumps have been getting better.
I remember where we arrived last time, and that's where I'm going to put us this time.
Excellent. Good thinking.
We'll just have to grab a cab once we get there. Because I don't know where his office is.
Fortunately, I have the address. We should be able to make it there.
Okay. Well, when everybody's ready, It's
All right, then Hyperion. Let's see, he's made sure that everyone's got their comm links. Is everyone ready?
Ready.
Hyperion makes sure that he's got his armor on.
Okay.
Billy, if you get a little nauseous, sorry. And then she goes poof.
Awesome.
So
Thanks.
before he goes poof, is Billy going out as Billy, or is Billy putting on anything to mask who he is, or doing anything to mask what he looks like?
Well, so the one thing that I did not see as far as that description goes is the alteration appearance. Is that yet another concentration thing? Am I going to
No.
have to state?
No, it is not.
So then he's just going to change his appearance.
Okay, go ahead and roll for it then.
Oh boy. All right. Okay, this will be fun. That's a sweet 85 yellow.
Okay.
Man, that dice roller really hates me.
So he takes a moment. He starts making some hand gestures of some kind, and then, like, in reference to himself. And what do you make yourself look like?
I darken my skin tone significantly. Change my general height by like 3 inches. Nothing too major. Just enough so that, you know, like the
So,
average person on a
slightly
second
bigger,
glance-
slightly darker.
Yep.
Are we talking Samoan dark? Or
No, yeah, darker, like significantly darker. So yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and
you guys,
features to match. You know,
Oh,
like
okay.
I'll broaden the
So
nose a little. I'll
Billy
thicken up the jawline.
turns himself into Pacific Islander for a second. Just poof.
Sure, why not? That's perfect.
And-
What's going on, brother?
And before he's able to respond to what Shone says, she poofs him.
Sure. So, go ahead and roll, Shone.
Okay. You better hope that this dice roller is going to be nice. Ugh. Okay. Green feet.
Okay. So, bamf. Momentarily, there's a blink, and at one point you are in the vein, and the next moment you are standing on a street corner somewhere.
Okay.
Near downtown, there's a bunch of people and cars, and of course, as soon as you materialize, the people around you freak right out. They're just like, whoa!
Sorry, citizens. It's all right. All right. Can Hyperion then tell, based on the address that he knows where we need to go, where we need to go?
You can, by looking around. I will tell you that you can catch a cab, or you can walk. Given the traffic, you're probably going to get there at about the same time.
Then let's walk. We'll
Might as well.
mingle with the area and
Yeah, because
Yeah,
this,
so
is
Billy's
this,
the capital.
this is DC midday. I mean, it's right around downtown. It's packed.
yeah.
Should we look like normal people?
No, not when we poofed in.
A little late for that.
Yeah.
Billy.
Quick question.
Yes.
The mohawk and the arm are still just the mohawk and the arm,
Sure.
correct? Yeah.
All
So
you
that-
told me is that you're basically looking like a slightly larger version of yourself, only Samoan.
No, based on the description, I don't think I can change the arm or the
You can.
mohawk because
It's magic.
I can?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I had no idea it worked that way. Boy, we've been sitting here. Okay, never mind. All right. So then, yes, he just gives himself like nice long hair and, changes the arm to just look like a meat arm.
Okay. Meat
Yeah.
arm.
A meat arm?
Yes.
Yes, meat arm.
It is.
So steaks and steaks,
Prime
T-bone,
beef cut.
ribs.
It
Nice.
is like almost Christmas time, so we're probably wearing warm clothes anyway, long sleeves.
Well, you have to keep in mind your outfit is insulated, so you're not really feeling the cold.
Yeah, because it does protect against heat and cold.
Yes, it does.
Try wearing nothing at about 10,000 feet under the water.
No, that's okay. I don't want to think about you naked under the water. Please, no.
Yep, raisinets. No,
Wait.
thank you.
Why would I be naked under the water?
So as you
just
guys,
did that.
so as you guys are walking, obviously people are gawking at you guys as you're walking along. Some people are, they're trying to get like a quick Instamatic, camera to try and take a picture and whatnot.
People walking around with Instamatics. I mean, I guess they're tourists.
Yeah, there's tourists
Exactly,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're about to jump from Polaroids to smartphones.
Yes.
Yeah. That too.
No, there's no about to it. It actually has happened, and I'm glad somebody picked up on that. A huge technological leap has been made, and it's being dropped into the marketplace. As you guys are walking along, you end up seeing a little girl dressed really nice. Probably just getting out of a private school. So she's in kind of a uniform, got like her, her bag with her and whatnot. And she spots Lightbringer, and she's like, oh. And she starts kind of like doing little tippy toe, standing in place sort of thing as you guys start approaching.
I think you have a fan, Lightbringer. Perhaps say hello.
Lightbringer will wave to the girl and smile.
Okay, so I mean, as you do that, she reaches into her bag and she produces an unopened version of your action figure, and immediately says all in one breath, "Could you sign my toy? I'm a girl," and just like shoves it right at you. Like it's kind of rude. But it's because she clearly doesn't know how to handle the fact that she sees you right there and it's the actual figure. It looks like she probably took it to school to show it off or something.
Joan's going to kind of arch her eyebrow at her sister. Well, Miss Popularity.
This is actually the first time you've gotten a chance to look at your action figure too. It's like the G.I. Joe design, but it's instead of like the 3 1/4, whatever it is, it's like about 5 inches. It's a little bit bigger.
So how's the likeness?
It's plastic, but the likeness is. I mean, you clearly look like a woman, which is a benefit for your toys of this era. But it's not like Barbie where it's like, super defined or on the face or whatnot. But the articulation's actually really good.
Did she hand me a pen
Yes.
or marker or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask her what her name is.
Her name is Beth.
So she'll sign to Beth, stay in school, Lightbringer.
Okay, so she gets that and she literally does like a, and and kind of stepping on her tippy toes again and quickly pack pushes it in there, and you see she in her bag she's also got your lunchbox.
Good grief.
Wow. So she'll just wave again and move away.
So she pulls out a smartphone at this point and goes click and takes a picture of everybody.
What the heck was that?
That's the new technology that's actually come out in our absence. They call them smartphones. They're small microcomputers that are attached to phones that allow you to do multiple things and communicate in different ways.
Billy pulls
Got
one
to
out of
get me
his.
one of those.
Billy pulls one out of his coat pocket, and he's like, "Mine doesn't work, but yeah, you can look at this."
Hyperion goes ahead and takes it. Interesting. The
Yeah.
technological pathways are similar even between realities.
While he's examining it, he pushes on them to move forward.
I
Like he literally pushes Hyperion to get him moving.
Okay.
I definitely need to get me one of these.
And Billy says, "But by the way, just keep in mind that's like 10 versions ahead of what she just pulled out and took a photo with." But
Yeah. So she's even getting weird looks as she pulled out the device because it's not that common. It's clear that her family has money and access that
yeah,
that money has purchased her.
I didn't know they were selling these outside of New Prussia. So, and the merchandise. I don't know about the phones.
Yeah, it looks like the rest of us, we're just chopped liver. We don't exist in this world.
Carmen will like elbow her. In the
Ow.
So you guys continue to walk. There's obviously a crowd, here and there, and whatnot as you guys are, walking along. And you can hear the chatter, like, why are they walking? They could just like fly there, or like, like I'm sure they could like magically poof or create some sort of like light sled, and just like all kinds of like theories or whatnot. And like as they're walking by, the one homeless person, who's street savvy and whatnot, is like, man, haven't you seen the traffic around here? Getting a cab would be ridiculous. And like everybody who's speculating all kind of like, pauses, like, okay, yeah, he's got a point.
I mean, we could just fly, or
We save our energy,
Yeah, what's the point now? We're almost there.
But yeah,
and
you
it
get
does
to.
us no good to show off with what we're about to be doing.
So you end up getting to the government building. Obviously, there's
Oh, and he sub vocalizes that, so no
Yeah.
one hears him.
so there's obviously security guards here, but they've been told to expect you, so they wave you in with with minimal hassling. You're taking steps up the marble steps to one of the official government buildings here. Looks like I said, everything here very official, marble, rock. This is the beating heart of the United States political department or entity.
Yep.
And you come walking in, very polished floors, wooden hallways, with adorning with the appropriate flags. You can see both Democrat and Republican flags in here. There are pictures that run along the side of people that have been honored or distinguished for their service. There's some paintings here and there. I mean, it's really, really classy, like you would expect to see any other building where politicians meet. And one of the guards takes you to the. He ends up taking you back to where his office is at, and holds the door for you. And his secretary is behind the desk, and she stands when all of you come walking in, and she buzzes him to let him know that you're here.
Thank you so much.
Oh, of course, it should only be a minute.
Excellent.
And then the ambassador comes walking out. There's some pictures up here of other individuals he's obviously met with and worked with, like you would see in a, or you would expect to see in an ambassador's office. The type of PR pictures you would show, like when they had a good meeting or they worked on something together, or projects or whatnot that the United States have been tied to that he was involved with. You see him there. So you see a lot of those pictures there. Wall-to-wall filing cabinets. There's a nice, desk up front with a computer. He invites all of you in. He says, welcome, Legacy. I see you have a new member. I don't believe I'm familiar with this person.
I'd like to introduce you to our newest member, Mosh Pit. Mosh Pit, this is Ambassador Tom Nolan. We actually assisted him during an Argentinian conflict several months ago.
Oh,
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well, Mosh Pit. My son is a fan of your concerts.
Oh, all right. Excellent.
Yeah,
Always nice to know there's fans out there.
Yeah, it's clear he's probably confusing you with somebody else, but metal.
Or he doesn't even understand the genre. That's possible.
Yep.
We're just gonna nod and smile.
There you go. Yep.
Cool.
Nod and smile.
Thanks,
How
brother.
is-
Appreciate it.
How is your daughter?
Actually, thank you for asking. She is she's doing well. Some friends of mine had pointed me in the direction of the Haven Institute. So we're having somebody look a little bit closer into what changes may have taken effect. And
She's
given the
in
fact,
good hands then.
So
Yes.
there were changes.
there were, although I'm hesitant to say anything more because we don't fully understand them yet.
Well,
But
we
That was just
suspected that this
yeah.
might happen.
That was a suspicion of ours, yes.
At
Yeah.
this point, Ambassador, it could be as simple as increased durability, which would help every young girl if in a city like Washington.
right. Part of the problem, which we have been able to recover, has been analyzing that hybrid tech that was used to send out that whatever carrier wave or whatever caused it. That has been giving our scientists fits, from what I understand, or at least that's what I've been told. But I mean, that's really neither here nor there. It's not really my purview. I only know what I know because of obviously my daughter. But please, all of you, have a seat. Is there anything we could get for you, like water or anything to drink?
Water would be wonderful. Thank you, Ambassador.
If you would like anything stronger, we have a few options.
Water sounds great.
Water will be fine.
Okay.
Nothing for me, thank you.
So he sends his secretary out to go, bring in, like 6 or 7 glasses of water, just to be on the safe side. You were mentioning a lot about New Prussia and I guess potential threats. So why don't you lay it on me and let me see if there's something I can do to help.
Yes, so as I mentioned on the earlier call, the two issues we're dealing with are one, of course, the issue related to Lightbringer's identity, since she is tied to Jurgen Albrecht. We wanted to make sure that the United States government wouldn't see that for some reason as legacy being against American interests or acting as collaborators. We know that that type of charge has been levied against us before because of our involvement in Argentina. But you were there, obviously. You saw what we did. We weren't there for him. We were there for the civilians and to try to actually stop Heydrich himself. So, with that, we're wondering if there's anything that could be said or any way that you could assist us with making sure that we aren't looked upon in that way by the federal government.
Well, what I can share is there's a reason why they haven't attempted to go directly after Lightbringer, and that I believe lies solely upon the report that I gave them after I returned stateside. There are elements within the United States government. I think it's safe to say this, and it would make sense that you probably already understand at least parts of this, that still see Reich Shield as a viable threat. So obviously any association with him would be guilt by association. So when I produced my report and indicated what it was that we found and to what extent your group was involved in the assistance of getting American citizens out of Argentina, as well as members of the citizens of the other Allied powers. I believe they stopped pressing the matter. Obviously, there's nothing we can do about the media. That is its own beast, as it were. I can say, for whatever reason, the Justice Legion did not really want to let the issue go. I'm not too sure why. But they seem to have a separate beef with your group.
I see.
I can explain that one, but short story is since everybody knows my alternative identities, with two of my siblings on that team and Monarch thinking that he was just going to knock me out in a punch, I imagine there's some bruised egos. One, that they weren't there helping the civilians first, showing, and I don't mean this sarcastically, sir, good old-fashioned American gumption to help civilians. And two, they were expecting us to just bend over and take it. And we did not.
And that could very well be the case. I am simply letting you know that if there are still elements out there pushing for what it is you're concerned about, they're probably tied to it in some case. So it may be something you may want to attempt to reconcile with them directly. No, obviously not right now, but maybe in the near future when you can maybe build up a separate reputation outside of what happened in Argentina.
I see. Excellent. That's excellent insight. We appreciate that. So then that brings us to the second point of interest, and that being to actually help to safeguard our world. It is going to be in a way that in the short term would be uncomfortable given what we just discussed. But, Lightbringer, would you be able to outlay for the ambassador the plans that were made privy to you?
President Albrecht approached me with an initiative that New Prussia would like to undertake on behalf of the planet Earth to keep the planet safe. He is interested in developing this lunar base with in cooperation with the United States, as a recognition of sort of an olive branch, and clearly he sees the U.S. as a world power that has much to offer in this initiative.
It makes sense. We're the last superpower in the world as we know it. So I understand the logic behind it. What are these plans? A lunar base? I mean, that's my mind is swimming around the idea.
Understandable. It's a great leap, as it were. I myself have been working on the technology, and I can explain it if you're interested, but perhaps our time would be better spent on discussing whose ears might be the right ones to direct this initiative towards.
That is a heck of a bomb to drop on me.
If I may,
Please do.
we have reason to believe that time is of the essence on this initiative, not just because, as it is publicly known about the extraterrestrial ship in orbit, but we have additional information that suggests that we are on a time crunch, and the sooner we can get this started, the better chances we have of defending the planet.
In short, she's saying people have come forward saying that they've had visions of extraterrestrials attacking our cities.
Well, that's not going to scare. That's certainly not going to scare a lot of people. I mean, speaking sarcastically, I think our biggest ally here in this particular case is Senator Miles Barrett, a senator out of Texas. He was a part of the Anti-Registration Act lobby. I believe he's probably one of the individuals who helped get it shot down. And he is also up for the Bureau of Superhuman Activity. It's a new department that is being formed in the United States. So, and it looks like he's probably going to get it. This might be something you're going to want to direct his way.
Do you think he's going to be sympathetic to the offer?
I think whether he is or not, he's your best chance.
Isn't
Go ahead.
Isn't your NASA in Texas?
Houston, yes. There's a base in Houston.
I was just curious. Thank you.
Well, no problem. No, what I was going to say is that I do understand the concern. Obviously, there is still a big issue on the world stage with what President Albrecht has done. If I can be perfectly frank, I think the power he displayed and the accuracy in which he did it is giving even members of the United States a little bit of pause. So this might be good timing on his behalf, but at the same time, despite the checkered the checkered past of even our nation, there are people that are bigoted enough to not let go what he's done.
And he'll raise his hand.
You got a question, Nankler?
No, I'm just agreeing with you that there are people who are still bigoted against them and extremely biased.
I see.
With that said, then, who do you think we would need to get to hear this plan? Who would help to actually make it a reality beyond Senator Barrett?
Well, at that point, you're gonna need to speak to Senator Barrett. I can, as I'm obviously just an ambassador, I can obviously poke around and look for other sympathetic members on either side of the aisle. It may be a bit of a tough sell, but may not be impossible. Weirder things obviously have happened, even in the world that we live in. So I can try to find sympathetic ears. I would definitely ply Senator Barrett first and see what you can do about getting him on your side and pushing it through. He has a lot of connections, not only politically speaking, but in the United States military as well.
Would it be all right if we mentioned your name when we speak with him.
Oh, of course, of course. I would be happy to put my recommendation forward for that.
Right.
Well, if you happen to have his contact information, the best way we can reach him, we'll get on that right away.
Oh, of course. So he grabs an index card from his Rolodex, because those are still a thing. And he takes a moment and jots down the senator's information, where his office is located, his as well as his phone number.
Excellent. Thank you, Ambassador. If there's anything else you need from us or any questions you need us to answer, don't hesitate to contact us.
Not at all. I will make sure to keep that in mind. Yeah. In the meantime, Lightbringer, just kind of keep your head down. Just know that here in the States, there's going to be individuals that are probably still going to target you in the media. So just say your prayers, eat your vitamins, I guess, and try to be as clean and above the board as you can.
Another matter, just for your consideration. I'm sure you saw on the news that we brought a number of superpowered individuals back with us.
I did, yes.
All of those individuals are, in fact, refugees. They have no worlds to return to.
That is the report that has been floating around from Mr. Danvers at the at Aegis Foundation. So there, from my understanding, and again, you'll have to bear in mind, I'm not directly involved in that particular investigation, but this is one of the reasons why I believe Senator Senator Barrett and a few others are attempting to put together this Bureau of Superhuman Activity. Obviously, to try and accommodate for some of these things, because clearly, now aliens are an issue, as well as now interdimensional beings.
So he's someone that we could speak to about helping those individuals as well.
Yes, he can.
Great.
If I may have your permission, Ambassador, I would like to check in on your daughter every once in a while.
I don't see why not. She's currently staying at the Haven Institute.
Yeah, she's in good hands.
I couldn't disagree. Or I should say, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, apparently they have Shield there as one of the headmasters.
Yes,
he was a World War II veteran, so I'm certainly not going to balk at having that sort of reputation and experience behind their training and involvement. So
last time we saw him, he was getting back into shape. For someone of his age, he is putting on mass like a beast.
Well, more power to him. We could certainly use a few more of him in the world at this point.
Do you happen to know if any of the other students from your daughter's school were similarly affected?
If they were, which I imagine there's at least more than one, they're keeping it quiet.
Understandable.
There's still that concern out there, even though the Registration Act went down, as you're aware with Fairside. They're concerned that at any moment there may be somebody detentions thrown up and they're put away for no reason.
All right.
Great.
Well, again, thank you for your time, Ambassador. We'll be in touch.
Of course. Thank you for stopping by.
And Sean's gonna shake his hand.
Okay. I mean, he shakes the hand of anybody that wants to shake his hand.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. And all right. So then, at that point, he'll look to the team and say, "Now we know who to contact. We can head back to base continue from there, I believe.
Okay, we can leave from here.
It's good.
All
So
right.
she's just gonna poof them all out of the ambassador's office.
Okay.
Hmm.
And away they go.
Bam.
Yep.
And
And-
ambassador's kind of going, "Whoa!"
And in another moment, you guys are standing back in the vein.
Billy, since we
Yeah.
now have a moment, because I know he's about to run off and find Miles Barrett's telephone number, and we are in the home reality for the Pearl, would you mind taking a look at it?
Sure.
You said you're skilled with magic, right?
I'm skilled with magic through my pearl. It is the only focus of its nature that I've ever had any experience with. So, I don't know that I'm the exact right person, but I'm happy to take a look at it.
You are a person who is skilled in magic, and I don't want this thing to kill me next time I pop it off.
That's fair. That's fair.
I prefer to put people to sleep than have to punch them in the face.
That's fair.
Reduce, reuse.
He'll actually tap his watch and hand him the pearl.
Okay.
All right. I take the pearl. Is there anything about it that I can sense?
That is a great question. And to answer that, you're going to have to, in essence, repeat the same method you did in order to tap into the one that you have.
Okay, that's not going to bind it to me or anything, is it?
No, but it's in essence, it's going to unlock the mysteries,
Okay.
which could be dangerous in and of itself.
Okay.
Kind of like this is kind of like another red pill, blue pill moment.
Oh boy. Well, you only
Does
live
he look
once.
uncomfortable?
No. He's contemplating, and he just looks up at you and goes, "Well, we only live once, right? What do I need to roll?"
You are going to have to roll the dimensional energy of Oshtur.
Okay.
So roll your psyche. And the power intensity is obviously that power rank, but the psyche is what's going to help tap into it.
Okay. Because that's different from my
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Oh, son of a. Okay.
White feet.
That's a white feet.
Okay. You
think
have
I'm-
you have a reroll.
I think
if you
I'm
would
going to
like.
use one of those
Okay.
re-rolls right about now.
Okay. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
It's what I think I'm going to do. Son of a bitch.
Oh,
That's even worse. Okay.
Oh man.
did you
The
like to
rerolls
beat
this
me?
game, man. Holy
Yeah. I have one more. And,
Come on, roller, be nice. I always have to tell it to be nice.
okay. Here we go. Son of a.
Wow!
Billy,
This
You
is
didn't
broken,
tell
my
it to be
dude.
nice.
Billy is suffering from performance anxiety. All of a sudden. So you take a moment and you start focusing
Wow.
and meditating, on this item. He's just kind of sitting there cross-legged, like in the room, and basically doing Doctor Strange stuff. Kind of like making motions with his hand and gestures. And you've got nothing.
Yeah.
But the only thing that you can tell is that it's very potent magic.
Yeah. All right. I stand back up. I go, well, here's what I discovered. Be very careful with it.
Yes.
I'm sorry, dude. I got nothing. I have absolutely nothing.
It's all right. Tonight I'll meditate with the pearl again, and maybe I'll get something out of it this time around.
Yeah, that's fair. I wish I could have done more for you, but yeah.
It's supposed to be a part of a set, and the other person who was skilled with magic told me that if I try to use it again without it being as a complete set, it might just kill me.
Oh,
And while I have no problem dying for my family, dying for my country, I don't want to have to.
yeah, no doubt.
I'm patriotic, not suicidal.
Man, and my brain keeps trying to go to solutions, and all of the solutions that I'm aware of are back in the old reality, or my old reality, and that's not going to be very helpful. So,
And that's what he'll do, is he'll go to his room afterwards and he'll sit down and he'll just meditate with the pearl until he goes to sleep.
Okay. Why don't you give me a psyche check?
I have a amazing.
Wow.
oh no, oh no.
Woohoo! Red feet.
Oh,
Oh.
my god. You know, I really hate this dice roller.
Wow.
Okay, so as you are, and this is where we're going to stop for the night. So you actually go to sleep at this point, trying to focus on the pearl and your desire to try and figure this out at this point, because it's the one puzzle right now that is right in front of you, and you have no clue how to solve it, or even where to begin, other than that bit of dream that talked about an island, and you end up getting this sort of vision at this point of somebody else who had all the pieces, and you see them rising from the ocean to the shores of this island, and with them they happen to have a hold on a second. There we go. They happen to have a wreath crown, as well as a trident. And you're able to make them out in exquisite detail.
Was it the sea or the ocean?
The ocean.
It was the
It's
ocean.
Poseidon.
Well, no, it's the words, because a sea could be smaller. It could be significantly different. And it's a completely different taste and flavor to the water. Yes, I'm trying to weasel this one.
That's fine. But that
rose from the ocean, wreath crown, trident. Beautiful person.
stalwart looking, so not
Male or
necessarily
female?
not necessarily beautiful, but very rugged looking. The individual, of course, had what appeared to be blue skin. So they were human looking, but humanoid.
Male or female, could I tell?
Male.
How many abs did he have?
It's always
12.
important.
He had Colin amount of abs.
Whoa.
That's pretty impressive.
That's a
Can I try to
superpower by
call out
itself.
to the person?
What's that?
Can I try to call out to the person?
In your vision? No.
Dream? Yeah.
No, it's more like you're just watching something from afar without the ability to communicate. But they step forth, and they're the only person there. They step forth onto the sands and walk further into this, onto the shore. The island can't be more than maybe a mile or two in circumference. It's not very big. And there, of everything that's there, there's only one tree. And it looks like whatever he's doing, he's approaching the tree.
Does the tree look like a variety I'd be familiar with, like a palm tree or a coconut tree?
Hold on one second. Dang it.
P.S. Billy, I gave you another reroll.
Oh, thank you.
And whenever I accumulate enough points, you'll get another one from me because you tried several times.
It's all good. I mean, I figured if I could actually find out something about it, that would benefit all of us, which is why I blew them all. But whatever.
Yeah, no worries. No, I was waiting for the connection to come back because it looked like we kind of stopped streaming there for a second.
Oops.
Yeah, no worries. No, sorry, what was your question again?
Do I know what type of tree it is? Coconut, palm, banana?
Let's see.
Mango?
Mhm.
Although I don't think mango grows on an island that small. And I'm taking notes.
Well, when you get done with your dream, of course. You obviously can't do it while you're dreaming. That would be a little silly.
Of course.
So... You're not certain at this point, but you're pretty certain it's deciduous.
Deciduous?
Yes. Meaning leaf bearing.
Oh, leaf bearing. Okay.
It is not a pine.
Yes. It
Right.
is not a conifer.
I just wasn't familiar with the word. I am not an arborist, sir. I am an information security technician.
Yep. Neither am
Or at
I.
least I wanna be.
That was the one thing I picked up from nature studies in school.
Yeah.
So that is where we're going to stop for the night. Let's close that out real quick. Oh, come on. There we go. That's what was happening. I need to remember to close that down. All right, so that's what we're going to stop for the evening. So our next games coming up is going to be Wednesday and Thursday of next week. So it's Cyberpunk on Wednesday at 7 p.m. And then Street Fighter on the 24th. So at 7 p.m. as well. We are not going to have our Ashland by Night Blood Ties game, which would normally be on the 26th. I'm actually away for that particular one. And then the week after that, which would be Friday and Saturday of September the 1st and 2nd, which will be the next games for this, will be Ashland by Night at 7:30 p.m. And then, of course, this game again on the 2nd at 6 p.m. So thank you guys all for joining us. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. And we are outie. Good night, guys.
Later.
Night.
And stream is ended.